I'm Brendan Fraser. You're watching Comedy Central. That's Fraser, not Frasier. If you say Frasier, I know where you live.
Get ready for Versus! Tonight, it's the team that always has a rocket in its pocket. Versus a team that enjoys long walks in the parks and getting punctured with big needles. That's right, it's rocket scientists versus body piercers on Versus. And now the man that puts the FU in funny, Greg Proops.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Versus, the show that brings together two rival teams and pits them against one another on our field of mortal intellectual combat. But you don't have to be a genius to dig our bag. This show is for everyone, but mostly the smart people. Tonight, it's boosters and thrusts versus needles and cuts. You know the teams. Now let's meet the players. Joe, will you do the formalities?
I certainly will. Let's meet Gabe. He knows it's not the size of the rocket, but the payload that counts the most. Next, we have Lori. She once expressed her displeasure to her lover by saying, "Houston, we have a problem." And then there's Joe. He once was arrested for looking at black holes through someone else's telescope. They are the rocket scientists. Let's meet Scott. He enjoys piercing himself with his grandmother's knitting needles while she's using them. Next, we have Taj. She says the best thing about her job is being able to touch people's genitals, whether she wants to or not. Finally, we have Wade. He once had his nipple pierced because he thought he'd save money on milk. And those are the body piercers. If you ask me, these teams are ready to rip each other to shreds.
Thank you, Mr. List. Let the games begin. We're going to start things off with some general knowledge questions. All right, everyone has a chance to ring in, and every correct answer is worth 100 clams. If you get it wrong, you don't lose any points, but the other team has a chance to confer and steal the cash. All eyes on the gigantic Versus board. Here is our first subject. Movies. And the categories are Powerful Contacts Help Jane Seymour, or The Unbearable Loudness of Beings. I don't write the news, I just report it. Piercers, since you won the coin toss backstage, you pick the category.
The Unbearable Loudness of Being.
All right, Scott. Here is the question. What 1974 Mel Brooks movie contains the silver screen's most classic campfire flatulence scene? Wade.
Blazing Saddles.
Correct! Off to a big start. In what 1973 film did Jane Seymour star opposite Roger Moore in his first appearance as James Bond? Scott.
Ooh, The Spy Who Loved Me.
So close, yet so wrong. Rocket scientist? I guess this proves you have to be a rocket scientist to answer this question. Answer, please.
For your eyes only.
So very wrong. Doesn't anyone remember Live and Let Die? Live and Let Die. When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say live and let live. You know you did. You know you did. You know you did. Let's move on to our next subject, which is explorers. And the categories are the circumcision left a Marco on his polo, and when two nuts need a sack, a Julia. No one got that right, but the piercers were last. Wade, why don't you choose?
I guess we'll go with when two nuts need a Sacagawea.
All righty. From 1804 to 1806, what two explorers set out on an expedition to the Pacific Northwest with the aid of an American Indian woman named Sacagawea?
Lewis
Scott.
and Clark.
Lewis and Clark, absolutely right. Rocket scientists. We're playing a game here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then. Here comes the next question. While in prison, Italian explorer Marco Polo wrote a book detailing his visits in the court of what Mongol grandson of Genghis Khan? Anyone, everyone? Nobody? Pathetic. Audience, I think we all know the answer to this. Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan. Grandson of Genghis Khan. Oh, I see we're above that because we pierce.
We don't need that information.
Rocket scientist, you have 0. Just want to remind you. We're all feeling pretty superior to you right now. I can guarantee you that. Let's move on to our next subject, which is current events. And the categories are how a bill becomes a lawbreaker and check out the tail on that heavenly body. Taj, we haven't heard from you.
How a bill becomes a lawbreaker.
All right. As chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, what U.S. representative led the prosecution in the impeachment of President Bill Clinton? Wade.
Henry Hyde.
Henry Hyde is absolutely correct. Here's our next one. In 1997, the Hale-Bopp comet inspired the purple-shrouded suicides of what California-based cult? Joe.
It was led by David Koresh. No, that's not it either.
No, you're absolutely wrong about that as well. Not only were you wrong, you were wildly wrong. I think you'll find David Koresh was at Waco with the Branch Davidians, but let's go for another cult, shall we? Sorry? No partial credit, because you were incredibly wrong on both counts.
Sorry,
All right, we need an answer from you, Piercers.
Sorry, we don't
not
know.
gonna give you an
Wow,
answer.
what a Teflon-induced bong hit this decade has been, ladies and gentlemen. So much for short-term memory. I think you'll find it was Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate. Named after the fantastic movie of the same name, which also caused an equal amount of suicides. Let's move on to our next subject, shall we? Of course we shall. We have nothing else to do, which is Huey Lewis's best album, Sports. And the categories are Canada, America's bitch. And excuse me, but your Johnson is dribbling. Scott, I'm digging your right arm. Why don't you pick?
Excuse me, but your Johnson is dribbling.
Is it? Oh. And I'm wearing the adult host diaper. Irvin Magic Johnson led what college basketball team to the 1978-79 NCAA championship? Wade.
North Carolina.
So close, but I think you'll find that was Michael Jordan. And it was much later. Rocket scientist, we're waiting for a correct answer from you still. Joe.
Duke.
No. That would be Michigan State University. All right, carrying on. In what Canadian city does the National Hockey League's Oilers play their home games? Joe.
Toronto.
Joe, I'd love to give you that answer, pretty much because I feel sorry for you at this point. But I'm afraid that's not right. Piercers, swoop in with another Canadian town, won't you?
Well, I think we're gonna go with Edmonton.
Edmonton is absolutely correct. Woo! I'm beside myself because at the end of round one, the score is the Body Piercers 400, the Rocket Scientists 0. But stick around because when we get back, we're gonna get wicked jiggy. Sit where you are.
Coming up.
Welcome back to Versus. After the general knowledge round, the rocket scientists are getting their butts kicked, ladies and gentlemen. I noticed you were deficient in some of the categories. That would be all of them in the first round?
Just those ones.
How's the outlook for the second round here?
Looking good.
Okay, all right. Piercers.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey!
Did you guys go to university?
Yeah.
Really? Where?
University of Hard Knocks.
Absolutely, dude. And I want you to notice, ladies and gentlemen, that he's answered almost all the questions so far. So stick that where your Pell Grant goes. Now the questions are going to focus on both of your very, very bizarre and different worlds. There are 5 questions written for each team. If you answer a question in your category, 200 clams. If you answer a question from the other team's category, it's worth 400 pendroclians. A wrong answer is going to cost you 200. Because this is a timed round, there is strategy involved. Since the rocket scientists are behind, in fact, they have 0, you can pick from your side of the board or you may poach a question from your opponent's side. Your choices are near-death experiences or solving Private Ryan. All right, Gabe, why don't you choose?
Oh, let's go with Solving Private Ryan.
Oh, you're poaching. I call that bold. Here we go. Along with vitamin C, regular doses of what metallic mineral element helps to speed up the post-pierce healing process? Taj.
Zinc.
Zinc is correct. Well, you can poach the rocket scientist, or you can move on to your category, which is take another little pierce.
Oh.
of
sorry.
my heart and liver.
I'll have to poach. Mere
All
death
right.
experiences.
Nicely done, Taj. Here we go. Rocket scientists, listen carefully. You may get one. In June of 1995, what U.S. space shuttle made history when it docked with the Russian space station Mir? This is a rocket question I would like to remind everyone. Joe!
Columbia.
No, Joe. That is so wrong. Piercers.
Challenger.
So close, but you'll remember the Challenger met another fate. I think you'll find it was the Atlantis. Atlantis. Way down below the ocean. That's where I want to be. She may be. Taj, you rock my world. Pick. It's either take another Pierce or you can poach with Lust in Space.
I'll stick with take another little piece of my heart and liver.
All righty. What spring-loaded guns that pierce the ear with a sharp metal stud can transmit what viral disease that causes liver damage? Scott.
Hepatitis.
Hepatitis is correct. Rocket scientist, do you have any piercings?
Ears? Ears?
Ears. Uh-huh. Those are close to the brain. All right, it's Lust in Space, or I'm not kinky. I just like to have a stud in my nose. Taj, you still rule. You're the queen. Go.
I'm gonna poach this time. I'm gonna go with Lust in Space.
Rocket
please.
scientist. Yes, exactly. Pay close attention. In the 1997 sci-fi flick Contact, what actress travels into space and falls for Matthew McConaughey? Scott.
Jodie Foster.
Oh, that is so right. It's right and you know it. Here's our next category. Faster than a biker on crystal meth. Or you can stay with yours. Scott, you choose.
Oh, I'm poaching. Definitely faster than a biker on crystal meth.
All right. Crystal meth, something we all enjoyed that the science majors made at the dorms. Here we go. Who was the first pilot to break the sound barrier in the X-1 rocket? Joe.
Chuck Yeager.
Oh. Oh my God. Yes, it was Chuck Yeager. And he broke the sound barrier using only the power of one Delco battery. You get to choose. And it's either your category, which is the first probe was pleasant, but re-entry was painful, or you may poach.
You know what? I think we're going to have to poach and get some points back, so we'll go with I'm not kinky. I'd just like to have a stud in my nose.
Excellent strategy, Joe. What singer of Where Have All the Cowboys Gone is known for her dangling armpit hair and nose ring? Taj.
Joan Osborne?
So close, yet so wrong. Conferring? I must have an answer, rocket scientists. Professor Goddard? Anyone? Gabe?
You don't have an answer.
We know she has blonde hair.
No, she has dark hair.
Under her arms?
I assume the dark hair carries on everywhere. That would be Paula Cole. Paula Cole. That annoying bell signifies the end of round 2, where the score stands at an impressive 800 for the body piercers and a pathetic 0 for the rocket scientists. When we come back, what we laughingly refer to as combat will continue. Stay where you are.
Next time on Comedy Central's new game show, Versus. It's Mensa versus Polish people in a challenge for intellectual domination.
Here we go.
Watch Versus tomorrow at 5, only on Comedy Central.
Welcome back to Versus, my evil woodland creatures. It all comes down to this. The body piercers lead the rocket scientists. The winners keep their cash. The losers leave here broken and humiliated, but not empty-handed. Mr. Liss, explain why.
Okay, Greg. Each loser will receive Cutco's Kitchenette Cutlery Set. It comes with the 5 most commonly used kitchen tools in a convenient storage tray. Quality cutlery made in America by Cutco.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, the 5 most commonly used kitchen tools, and I think we all enjoy the short shiv knife for threatening fruit. All right, you guys, rocket scientists, you know what's ahead of you here. A long, hard climb.
Yep, absolutely. I'll play up.
Okay. Body piercers, how you feeling?
Smooth.
Smooth. You have got more paint on you than a Maori warrior. And I am digging it. All right, here we go. Each of you will get 3 questions, and that's it. Ring in as soon as you think you know what the answer is. If you get it right, 250 clams. If you get it wrong, we deduct 250 from your total. All of the questions in this round can be answered by one of these 3 choices. Studs, scuds, or spuds. Please enunciate, because I am high on Sudafed. Here we go. Harrison Ford and Ed Bradley each have one in their ear.
Stud.
Stud is correct. They rained down on Israel when who? Yes.
Scuds.
Scuds is correct. Several cities in Idaho could be obliterated.
Spuds.
No, that's not right. Oh. Could be obliterated by these Soviet-made rockets. All right. Joe.
What are intercontinental ballistic missiles?
You know, if you look at the board, you'll see that all of the answers are either one of those. Studs, scuds, or spuds. Let's look over here. Follow me. Let's just take a look. Does anyone see intercontinental ballistic missiles on the board? Oh, yes, I do. It's hidden underneath here. It's in the subtext. Apparently, we weren't smart enough to see that. All right. You're incorrect, Joe. Get your tired butt away from me, and let's bring on the next 2 contestants. Come in, my darlings. It's Lori and Taj. Are you ready?
Yep, yeah.
And remember, use of the phrase intercontinental ballistic missile will not be allowed in round 3. Here we go. You have to poke their eyes out before you bait. Yes, Lori.
Spuds.
Spuds. It was the nickname of a Budweiser mascot.
Studs.
Yeah, no. Yes, you, Lori.
Spuds.
Spuds is right. Almost. They were commonly mashed by the Patriot missile. Yes, my
Spuds.
darling. Spuds is wrong. Lori, can you do it?
Scuds.
Scuds, yes. Moving on. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, the rocket scientists are actually in the lead. The numbers don't deceive. Piercers, you have got to get it on. Here we go. Military experts would correctly identify them as tubers. Rocket scientist.
Spuds.
I may need a ruling on that one, baby. Yes is right, spuds. Out on the farm, racehorses often achieve this status, yeah?
Studs.
Studs! Last question. After the Gulf War, it was a show hosted by Mark DiCarlo. Piercers.
Studs.
Studs is correct. The rocket scientists are the winners. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, rocket scientists. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll see just how smart they think they are. Welcome back. Well, the rocket scientists are the winners. Yes. I didn't think you could do it, but you did it. And body piercers, I just gotta say, word up. I dig your look a little more than I dig the rocket scientists. Well, I'm not that into pale blue anymore. The scientists have won a total of 1,000 clams, which is, of course, yours to keep. Now we're gonna see if you can't win some more dosh. All right, it's time for the grand finale. I will ask you one question. Get it right and you'll win a grand 1,000 clams. If you get it wrong, the body piercers will have a chance to get it. Here are the 2 subjects you can choose from. Gaze upon the board in breathless wonder. 16th century Elizabethan dramatists or spacemen. The choice is clear. The choice is yours. RS's? What are you going to do?
We're going to go with 16th century Elizabethan dramatist.
Nicely played. Very bold. Here we go. The first English playwright to compose in blank verse what Elizabethan dramatist wrote, The Tragical History of Dr. Faustus. You have 10 seconds. Remember, contestants on Versus stay at their own homes and get to the studio in their own cars. All right, we need an answer. You've got to tell me who this Elizabethan dramatist was, Joe.
You want the person, or do you want the type of verse it was written in?
No, we know that it was composed in blank verse. We need the dramatist what wrote The Tragical History of Dr. Faustus. And we need the answer really soon. Shakespeare is incorrect, piercers. You're on board. You have several seconds. You have several seconds to confer. We know that it isn't Shakespeare. We know that it isn't Gwyneth Paltrow. Do you have an answer for us?
We're hoping it's Chaucer.
Oh, Christopher Marlowe is the answer. Oh, of course. Well, the rocket scientists are still the winners. The body piercers made a game try with a piercing at the end. That's been our show. Join us next time when you'll see me, Greg Proops, versus my own demons.
Some players may receive Bushnell's Voyager Astronomical Compact Zoom Telescope with rotary power. High-quality technology to explore the world beyond. One of the first names in sports optics, Bushnell. Promotional consideration provided by... Create eye-catching documents for all your business needs with the easy-to-use tools in Corel Print Office, a comprehensive publishing solution for home offices and small business. From Corel. Now available, Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. Deluxe Audio Edition includes 100,000 spoken pronunciations and 1,000 color illustrations. From Merriam-Webster, Incorporated.
Up next, watch The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, where more Americans get their news than probably should.